gather around when you hear that song, cause in this place to let you know we got energy, plenty energy. Don't come if you're tired, no. Don't come if you're weak, no. Don't come if you don't know. I'll let you know we got energy.
Tonight, will the DNA re-enter frontline politics? We've got the details coming up. Also, are preparations being made for a by or general election? And later, voices from Grand Bahamas speak out tonight on the state of the economy. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, the country could be heading to what's expected to be its second by-election in just less than 4 years, following the untimely death of Golden Isles MP and Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources, Vaughn Miller. The acting parliamentary commissioner, Harrison Thompson, says his team is ready to deliver a fair by-election once and if a date is announced under the Parliamentary Elections Act. When a House of Assembly seat becomes vacant, the Speaker must inform the Governor General and request a writ of election. The country has seen several by-elections in recent years, with the most recent including the contesting of the West Grand Bahama and Bimini seat. Following the death of Member of Parliament Obie Wilshcombe in that race, the PLP's Kingsley Smith won comfortably over the Free National Movement's Bishop Ricardo Grant.
Taking amount of time to make sure we have the writ back to her. So once that is done, then we have a 30-day window to get the writ back to her. Well, I would advise every Bahamian to ensure that they are in the right constituency, the right polling division. And if they have moved in the last 5 years plus, they need to come in and transfer their registration to their new constituency and polling division. If not, they might find themselves on election day in a bit of a challenge. They might have to vote on a colored ballot if their name not appear, their names don't appear on the register.
As of September 30th, there were more than 195,594 registered voters. Despite a by-election potentially looming, the Prime Minister could still call a general election sooner than expected. It's now raising questions about the rollout of the new biometric voter cards. Thompson explaining tonight if there could be any impact on its rollout.
It might have some impact. We are looking for the cards to be ready and to be issued as early as January. So it all depends on when the election is called. If a general election is called, then it all depends on when that is called, whether it will impact the issuing of the biometric cards. Well, everyone on the register now have a purple card, so we would continue with that process. Nobody will be disenfranchised so on the register. They'll be able to vote with their purple cards.
Well, as the political season ramps up, the DNA has its eyes set on some familiar faces in the political arena. Executive members sitting down with our Janelle Longley earlier today to discuss the party's plans heading into the upcoming general election. Here's that report.
Back at the forefront, but what's the real plan?
Henry Ford once said, coming together is beginning. Working together is progress. But staying together is success. And then there's another quote that says, if you build it, they will come. We are regrouping, reorganizing, and re-energizing so that, whatever that takes us, we'll follow.
It's the synopsis of the Democratic National Alliance's push for government. Possibly months away from the next general election, the question on everyone's mind, who's on the ticket? Could there be familiar faces like the father of the party, Branville McCartney?
Well, like I said, we've been talking to a lot of people. Him included.
Or the ousted former Prime Minister and sitting Member of Parliament for Killarney, Dr. Hubert Minnis.
Yeah, we have a big tent, and an open door. And so all are welcome.
Party designated leader Stephen Nesbitt back in June told Eyewitness News that the party had made a decision to step out of this upcoming political race, citing among other issues the financial burden of a political campaign. But according to party executive Rudy Dean, things seem to have shifted.
We are satisfied with the results that we're getting.
But aside from those hopes, what's the real reason for the comeback? Former national chairman, now party executive Derek Smith says there's a demand.
There are thousands of Bahamians who we definitely know that they're not satisfied with the PLP nor the FNM. You have the COI, But yet, even with the COI's existence, you still have too much dissatisfaction. And that is the void that we want to fill.
But while the race is on for the upcoming polls, Smith suggests that the party's intentionality won't be suffocated by those timelines.
We digging in so that even if we happen to miss this round, 2031 is still there.
The DNA is now ran by a team of executives. According to officials, an open house is planned for the end of October when the outside community will be able to garner more information about their plans for the country.
DNA, light the way.
Janelle Longley, Eyewitness News.
Well, following the Democratic National Alliance signaling its return to frontline Bahamian politics, the nation's leader taking note, Prime Minister Philip Davis welcoming that announcement, calling it a testament to the enduring impact of the PLP's leadership. He says the accomplishments of his administration have not only shaped the current political landscape, but may have inspired their rivals to re-engage.
Well, those revisions will come about as a result of late postings. And primarily that, and the alignment of various allocations between ministries, and so that would be the answer to that. But we met our targeted numbers. We met them.
Prime Minister Davis expressing confidence not just in his party's track record, but in its future. He says the PLP may be poised for a second term, and he's not backing down from the challenges ahead.
We met our target because what we said about our projection was that we'll be between 0.3 and 0.7% of GDP, of deficit to GDP. We came in at 0.5. That's our target.
Well, more insight tonight from Charles Seeley, who initially took part in a PLP training module for those interested in running for office. But days after that, he was quick to say he decided not to put his name in the ring. He told Eyewitness News today what motivated that shift.
There was an opportunity afforded to me to have some understanding of the Progressive Liberal Party's platform, to get to know them a little bit more intimately, what they believe in. And that was offered during a session where they were preparing persons who were aspiring to be candidates. And I did attend that session. While in there was others who, of course, presumed that I was putting myself forward for frontline politics. I would say to you very comfortably that I believe there's a space in governance for me, whether it's actually in the government or on the sidelines, helping to craft a new platform of governance for our nation. But as far as the Progressive Liberal Party is concerned, I would not put myself forward knowing that there's so many other persons who have been steeped into that party, who've been working many, many years, and they've got a good cadre of persons that they can draw from. It would be not fair in one instance, and I believe if the opportunity comes, it should come from the belly of the Progressive Liberal Party and not from me having a personal agenda. And so that was my reason for removing myself at the time.
Well, the former Doctors Hospital CEO says the experience sharpened his perspective, but personal priorities, family, and where he feels most effective all factored into that move.
Myself not because I have a background in medical. I offer myself because I'm a Bahamian. I offer myself because I believe there's a better way for us to do governance. And, I've had so many conversations with persons saying, are we at the point in our nation's history where we have to relook the way we govern, where we have to create more systems of accountability, where we have to find ways of getting even more innovation into our governance, putting more technocrats at the seat of decision making? And so that's the space where I offer myself as a person who has children, grandchildren, and wanting to see the Bahamas move from stead to stead in a better way. I believe that all Bahamians, all who have an opportunity with a sound mind and great ideas, need to bring them to the forefront so we can make our nation a better place.
Well, members of the Bahamas Public Services Union employed at the University of the Bahamas staging a protest today. They're expressing frustration over what they describe as empty promises regarding overdue salary reviews. Laurentia Smith has the details tonight.
You talking about be honest, you be honest. The president of the University of the Bahamas, Dr. Robert Blaine, and the members of the Bahamas Public Service Union, led by President Kingsley Ferguson, faced off Wednesday morning as the union brought its concerns straight to UB's doorstep. Ferguson telling Eyewitness News these are legacy issues, including overdue promotions and back pay.
The disappointing part about it is if the president would have reviewed upon entrance to his office all the issues that were pending, he would see that decisions would have already been made on a number of those issues, and all some of them are waiting on is just payment.
Now, this isn't the first time the union have been vocal about its frustration. Just a few months back, members took their displeasure to the steps of the office of the Prime Minister. They say far too long they have been treated as an afterthought.
It's time to press gas. It's time to stop listening to you guys. Y'all need to listen to us. If we are more in majority than faculty, and y'all need us. Whether you want to believe it or not, y'all need us. You need to stop treating us like dirt.
Some 300 members of the BPSU clock in at the university across various departments, including security, IT, and physical planning. BPSU trustee at UB, Tyrone Coakley, says staff morale is at an all-time low.
And all we are asking is for this administration to wake up and smell the racism. These are the people that run this institution. These are the backbone of this institution. And it's a knockout. Not a slap in the face. It's just a knockout. But I want to assure this administration, we leave to Mr. Coakley. In 2 weeks, we'll be back.
Eyewitness News made several attempts to speak with the university officials, however, were unsuccessful in reaching them by news time. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Well, in Grand Bahama tonight, straw vendors at the Port Lucayo Marketplace say business is worse than ever. One longtime vendor telling us that the decline is so severe, the once bustling hub now feels like a ghost town. In this report, she tells our Devontae Hannah that nearby attractions might be to blame.
Last week, 4 days. 4 days, we didn't go home with nothing.
This is the new heartbreaking reality for straw vendors at the Port Lucayo Marketplace in Grand Bahama. Sylvia Major has been a vendor for over 3 decades and claims this is the worst she's ever seen business.
Look around. Today, we have the celebration and there's nobody. No one is here. We still have to pay our rent for the shop.
We here in Grand Bahama are hurting. We have our family. We have mortgage to pay. We have children in school. Utility bills, everything, and we're not making it. We coming out here every Jesus Day God send.
The vendors believe part of the problem is Carnival Cruise Line's new Celebration Key, allegedly pulling tourists away from Port Lucayo, leaving it virtually a ghost town.
I mean, it killed the tour, the taxi drivers, and it killed the big tour buses, and it killed the straw market and all the other shops in the area. That just destroyed Grand Bahama.
Even taxi drivers say they've gone home for sometimes 2 weeks at a time without a job. Adding to that, the mounting frustrations from the stalled Grand Lucayan redevelopment. Now, 4 months ago, hundreds of people actually stood in the same area as they watched the government, along with Concord Wilshire, stage a demolition on this very same spot. Now, months later, you can see where that area has now been covered and painted over. It's another sign for straw vendors that the future of the Grand Lucayan property may not be as secured as they thought it would have back on May 15th.
It was a lie, and I didn't get excited at all this time because it's just empty promises over and over. Who do you believe? Who do we have to go to?
Despite the fanfare, the hotel today sits vacant with algae-covered fountains, moss-filled sidewalks, and downed branches littering the lawn. The government has been very tight-lipped on the sale, outside of the Prime Minister revealing some components are set to come on stream in 2026. Tonight, after his high praise of the deal back in May, Grand Bahama Port Authority President Ian Roll is confident in the same.
The government of the Bahamas wants to sell the hotel to an entity that has the wherewithal to create a decent vision for the island. We have a proven entity in Concord, Wilshire. So I have no doubt that probably by first quarter of next year, construction will start.
As the island and country sits in waiting, vendors like Major are hopeful that the deal works out, as the hotel once served as the lifeline of Grand Bahama.
They need to stop playing politics with us here in Grand Bahama and do what is best for Grand Bahama.
While both the Prime Minister and GBPA President expressed confidence in the work beginning next year, none have revealed which component of the redevelopment will be first. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Well, the ongoing dispute between the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority is tonight in the spotlight as the GBPA's president, Ian Roll, is expressing hope that no matter what decision is handed down by the arbitration panel, both sides will put the interests of Grand Bahama and the nation first. The panel is currently making a decision on whether or not the GBPA has to pay the government over $300 million. That's stemming from long-standing questions over the role of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, which has operated as the body overseeing Freeport under the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement. Despite that, Roll says his focus is on ensuring that whatever the outcome, cooperation prevails.
Nobody knows the outcome of that, right? I can say this, though. At the end of the day, no matter who wins, we must continue to work together for the betterment of Grand Bahama and the entire Bahamas. So my focus right now, it doesn't matter what the outcome is, it's just building relationships and trying to deal with any type of impediments to business, and because we have to live amongst each other at the end of the day.
Well, the nation's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, sending a clear message to world leaders at the United Nations that his country cannot afford to deal with Haiti's woes amid heightened calls from regional leaders to do so. His message comes as Haiti remains at the mercies of violent gangs that have been executing massacres in recent months that prompted residents to leave the country, which inevitably resulted in illegal migration attempts to the Bahamas and elsewhere. And so Davis is putting his foot down as he says his nation is buckling under the weight of the burden.
For too long, the Bahamas has been left to carry the weight of Haiti's crisis. It is not fair to us as Bahamians. As I have said before, our country has been through a lot. We have very serious challenges and limited resources with which to face these challenges. We are a compassionate people, but we cannot take on burdens that are not ours. So at the United Nations, I made it clear that the Bahamas cannot and will not carry Haiti's problems on our backs. We will defend our borders. We will protect the opportunities and services that belong to Bahamians. And we will keep pressing the international community to do much more. Stability in Haiti requires real commitment from global powers, from regional partners, and from international institutions. We will be a good neighbor, but not at the expense of our own people.
In other news tonight, while the worst of Tropical Storm Imelda is behind us, some residents continue to cope with the aftermath, and that's flooding that has yet to recede in areas. The damage leaving behind due to floodwaters. Our Jose Etienne speaking with residents who are still grappling with that issue. Here's that report.
I can't even express how vexing this is because, like I said, I've been reaching out.
A groundswell of frustration boiling over tonight as Yvette Ferguson, longtime resident of Sea Beach Estates in western New Providence, has been left to pick up the pieces after Tropical Storm Imelda swept through her community.
Everything was destroyed. All my doors, all my furniture, the fridge, the stove, everything is destroyed. So I have to now reach out to my insurance company. Actually, they were here yesterday to see us take pictures of everything, but it's just such an inconvenience.
Now, the water may have receded, but don't be fooled. What you're looking at is only the aftermath. On Sunday night, the entire area was swallowed, and just by looking at this marking on the wall, you'll see how floodwaters surged to just above my knees.
You can still see in the background that my fiancé is bailing out water as we speak. Things that we have to throw away because everything that got caught in the water definitely has to be removed. It's now time for cleaning up, sanitizing, having trucks come in.
Ferguson's plight is that of many residents across New Providence who felt the storm's wrath on Sunday.
When I pulled up to the gate, I was even unable to get into my home. I had to check into the hotel for the past 3 nights because I was unable to get into the house.
But the aftermath comes as no surprise since living in the area for over 2 decades. Ferguson says her pleas for a drainage system have been met with a wall of silence.
There is no drainage through this corner. Like I said, the water used to flow out through the dead end, and now that has been closed off, so there is nowhere for the water to go. I've reached out to Ministry of Works umpteen years ago. I have not gotten a response, and now it's overdue.
Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, as parts of Fort Charlotte are still dealing with floodwaters following Tropical Storm Imelda's passing, Free National Movement candidate for the area, Travis Robinson, is calling into question tonight an ongoing development that sits just off of Saunders Beach, which he argues is exacerbating flooding woes in the community that he's vying for. He's pleading tonight for action. This comes as residents in the Grove West and Propole Track area have seen what they say is unprecedented flooding. Robinson is of the view that the ongoing development will only make things worse given its placement.
What we're realizing now, having spoken to a number of residents in the community and doing my own personal assessment with my team, there's a new development on West Bay Street by Saunders Beach next to Shell gas station that has really affected tremendously the ability for the flooding in Fort Charlotte to recede. The development has compacted the ground on the pond area. There's a canal, for anybody who knows Fort Charlotte, that runs almost the length of Fort Charlotte that brings the water from the community and dumps it into the pond as a repository, particularly the Grove West. That is continuing to be overflooded with Scarlet Street and Marine Drive because the water that would seep under the road, cross the highway, seep under the road and into the pond is now blocked because we have the walls up on the 2 sides that cuts off now the water from being able to dump into the pond area. That is a pressing concern. I asked the question to the Ministry of Works, who have done the environmental impact study on the new development to be able to put development on a pond area.
Robinson also putting pressure on the area incumbent Member of Parliament Alfred Sayers to resolve the issue, noting that residents are wrestling with utility woes due to the surge in water levels in the area.
BPL having contact them, they cannot turn on the power because the water is still at the same level that it was once from when the storm has passed. And so people are inside their homes right now in Fort Charlotte, particularly West Grove and Propole Track and St. Albans Drive. Can't get out, can't bathe, don't have electricity. And we're asking the government, Ministry of Works particularly, to redouble their efforts to bring relief to the people of Fort Charlotte. The canal has to be cleaned on a consistent basis. The canal hasn't been cleaned in a very long time. Now we see today the Ministry of Works or some contractor has come with a group of foreign nationals to clean out the canal as it should have been from day one. So these are pressing concerns. We know the water continue to rise, and with the health issues of mosquito and airborne diseases, people are concerned. I know Alfred Sayers indicated he's no longer running, but he is still the sitting member of parliament. We are asking him to come to Fort Charlotte to assist in bringing relief to the people of Fort Charlotte who elected him to serve.
If you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the ION News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture explaining its adjustments to the Junkanoo Parade management. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, the Deputy Prime Minister says the government fully trusts the Integra development despite the ongoing discourse. More on that right after this break.
Hello, bonjour, hola, hello, ciao. No matter where your passport takes you, BTC roaming keeps you effortlessly connected. Enjoy seamless calls, lightning-fast data, and affordable roaming across the globe. No SIM swaps, no stress. Just one network, working everywhere, So go ahead, explore the world, and still be just a call away from home.
Fill up box for all $30.
The new KFC fill-up box, serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets, all packed into one crave-worthy box. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC fill-up box. Only at KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Sting Junkanoo Group is celebrating 25 years of music, and you're invited to the greatest show ever, counting down the years, performing hit song after hit song. Stevie S, Colin McDonald, KB, Dyson Knight and D-Mac. Saturday, November 1st at the Farm Marshall Road, 8 p.m. until. Tickets can be purchased online at www.bahamaseattickets.com for your skybox or to be a food vendor. Call 424-6433, 477-0191. Sponsored by ZNS, Island Luck TV, The Farm, Gatorade Today and Co. Limited, Krista Minute and Associates.
This September is a September to remember at Conrad Bahamas. Get 30% off all windows and doors all month long. We carry Hurricane Impact sliding windows and doors, Hurricane Impact casement windows and doors, as well as PVC windows and doors. Whether you're upgrading for style or preparing for hurricane season, now is the perfect time to save. Visit us today and take advantage of our biggest savings of the season only at Conrad Bahamas, exclusively at our locations in Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera. Conrad Bahamas. Dream, design, deliver.
It's the glitziest night in agriculture, where roots run deep and the spotlight shines bright. The Agrarian Awards 2025 takes center stage on Saturday, October 18th at the Atlantis Paradise Island Grand Ballroom, and you need to be there. Presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources and the Agricultural Development Organization. Get your tickets now at adobahamas.org or call 397-7400 for more information. The Agrarian Awards 2025, planting with heart and soil.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baha Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baha Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
News gas tracker $5.48 at both Esso and Rubis tonight. Shell coming in at $5.49. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture addressing grievances surrounding the adjustment and the management of the upcoming Junkanoo parades for the holiday season. In a statement, the ministry is seeking to clarify the change to the judging process, explaining that a vote was held last Saturday, September 27th, and that all Junkanoo groups, with the exception of 2, voted in favor of the National Junkanoo Committee taking over the judging process for the parades. A press conference also taking place at this hour by the JCMP, who said yesterday that there were more than 2 groups who wanted to participate under the JCMP. For more on this, log on to our website, ewnews.com. Well, Norwegian Cruise Line executives telling reporters today that it's almost at the finish line as it relates to addressing labor issues that came to light. This as the company launched an aggressive recruitment exercise. His comments at Wednesday morning's press conference coming months after it was revealed that the company took clear action to resolve labor concerns, including settling all outstanding salary and compensation obligations. The company landing under scrutiny following the abrupt dismissal of several foreign senior managers. Labor Director Howard Thompson also traveled to the company's private quay, Great Stirrup Quay, where he faced a barrage of, quote, very serious and alarming complaints from employees.
Norwegian Cruise Line is a good corporate citizen. We are not there to trick anybody, and whatever concerns we have inherited, they are actively being dealt with, and I would say 95% of those being resolved as well. So the situation that we have right now, as I told you, the direction that we have taken has contributed to that sentiment of the people that work for us. We are on the island creating a safe environment for everybody, because I believe the focus should be on the quality, should be on development, should be on personal development. So it's not only a managing day-to-day business, but also, like going into the sphere of metaphysical, if you want. That we want to open the horizons for those young boys and girls that come to work for us. We want to, make sure that they understand how great they are and what they can achieve.
Well, it's a major milestone for the island of Exuma. The Water and Sewage Corporation officially commissioning new water infrastructure, bringing in clean and consistent water access to the community of Barry-Tarry. Our Delano Roker on the ground in Exuma. He has the details on the story of progress and promise.
A vision that began in 2023 took shape through months of planning, and groundwork was completed by April 2024. Now fully under the management of the Water and Sewage Corporation as of April 2025, today in the settlement of Barry-Tarry, residents are celebrating access to a modern, reliable water system, transforming everyday life. At the commissioning ceremony, Prime Minister Philip Davis described the project as more than just pipes and plumbing. He called it a symbol of equitable national development.
This is not a plan for tomorrow. It is delivery today. For too long, this community lived with uncertainty. Tanks ran dry. Families carried water. Promises were made, but progress did not come. That was unfair. Our government is determined that no Bahamian should be told to wait for the basics of life. You might actually be patient, but we will deliver.
For Exuma's Member of Parliament and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, this moment is deeply personal, as the system spans 32,650 feet of new PVC water mains, replacing aging water trucks with a permanent, pressurized water solution.
Because I can remember not so fondly, as a young boy growing up in Little Exuma, we had no running water. Not that the water went off sometimes, not that the pressure was low, not that it came and it went. We had none. So today, this is a great moment of celebration. If you wanted water, you carried it. You fetched it. You learned to make do. And you learned early how hard life can be when something so basic is missing.
Minister with responsibility for the Water and Sewage Corporation, Leon Lundy, says the upgrade isn't just about today, it's about future potential.
These works mean that homes and businesses here in Barry-Tarry are now connected to a system built for dependability and growth. But let me be clear, these are not just pipes in the ground. They are the arteries of progress. They are the guarantee that when a family turns on the tap, clean, reliable water will flow. They are the assurance that when a business invests, it can plan with confidence. And they are the signal that communities like Barry-Tarry will never be left behind in the march of national development.
For the residents of Barry-Tarry, the mood is clear: relief, joy, and renewed hope.
Growing up in Barry-Tarry it wasn't easy to cope without having water. I remember during those days we had to dig well. You had to get water from the well. We have to draw with a bucket, and the water wasn't always good. So I am so elated today to be a part of the celebration, because we now can just go, get our connection, turn the pump on, and we have portable water. So I'm so happy today. My voice can express how I feel day at my age to be a part of this.
With the turning of this valve, it doesn't just indicate water infrastructure, it indicates progress. As the Prime Minister said, his administration is dedicated to investing in all communities throughout the archipelago. Reporting from Baratari, I'm Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Delano. While pushback continues to mount, the Save Exuma Alliance remains steadfast in its opposition to the ongoing development by the Integra Group on Samson Key, a project critics say threatens the delicate ecology and balance of the Exuma Keys. Environmental advocates argue that the construction activity is not only disruptive, but potentially irreversible, posing a risk to marine life, coral reef, and the broader biodiversity of the region. But the government is standing by its decision. Deputy Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for Exuma, Chester Cooper, is defending the move to allow the development to proceed.
Well, the government's committed to doing the right thing. The government has the support of DEP, Department of Environmental Planning and Protection. They're the professionals in these matters. They have a standard protocol, environmental impact assessments, management plans, etc. And they are satisfied, the government is satisfied, and we're moving forward. I mean, we as a government will not be dictated to by investors. We do the right thing. We look out for the environment. Our Prime Minister has been a champion for environmental protection, not just in the Bahamas, all around the world. We take this seriously. This is my home. Never, ever in a million years will I do anything or support anything that compromises the environment or the quality of life or the standard that the people of Exuma had become accustomed to over the years.
Well, Bahamian-owned Bahamas Transport Logistics will own and operate Royal Caribbean's new water ferry service for the Royal Beach Club on Paradise Island, putting a local company at the helm to ship its shore transfers. The fleet features 5 colorful vessels: the Flirty Flamingo, the Sassy Starfish, Coral Calypso, the Twisted Turtle, and Lucky Lizard, each built with lightweight aluminum hulls and advanced propulsion for quick turnaround and a smooth ride. Royal Caribbean says the service will blend efficiency with authentic Bahamian culture from arrival to departure. As the first of its kind, Royal Beach Club continues to take shape ahead of its December 2025 opening. For more on this, log on to our website, ewnews.com. Well, from the Crime Beat tonight, police are investigating 2 separate armed robberies that took place on Tuesday night. In the first incident, shortly after 8:30 p.m., a man was held up at the Edmonton Road, east of Carmichael Road. Police say 2 armed suspects approached, fired shots, and robbed him of his personal items. He was not injured. In the second incident, just after 10 p.m., a man and woman were sitting in a vehicle in a parking lot of East-West Highway when 2 suspects armed with guns ordered them out. The assailants then stole the black 2010 Nissan Note, license plate AK0994, and fled in an eastern direction. Police are appealing to the public for any information that can assist in their investigation. So to come tonight in Eyewitness News, it's October, and that means Breast Cancer Awareness Month. One company is ensuring that you get checked. We've got the details on that. But first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for
for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052. Shop smart, and shop smart, and shop smart. Oh, everything is here.
Only one item? Are you tired of limited choices? I'll have the one item on the menu, thank you. Wow! So many choices. Why settle for less when you deserve more? When it comes to the ways you pay, the more, the better. With a variety of payment options available, you can enjoy the freedom to choose what works best for you. Choose freedom. Choose flexibility. Choose from the full menu of payment options. The future of pay is digital.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, the IL Cares Foundation backing their commitment to accessible health care, announcing its annual free breast cancer testing as women throughout the country continue to be affected. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight.
Breast cancer continuing to be one of the leading causes of death among Bahamian women. To that end, the IL Cares Foundation continues to support early detection and screening by offering free mammograms in October, recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month for all Island Luck and Ultra Games card holders. Chief Operating Officer at Island Luck, Adriana Fox, says the annual initiative is their commitment to making testing accessible.
We are proud to offer free breast cancer screening across 3 islands by offering our service to New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Eleuthera.
Stakeholders of Fourth Terrace Diagnostics in the capital, Easy Dental Clinic, and Lucine Medical Center in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Bahamas Wellness in Eleuthera, emphasizing the importance of all being on board.
Our detection rate is higher than the global average, and it tells you we have a problem.
It's important everyone under the sound of our voice comes out and gets tested. It has proven to be very beneficial to many women here in the Bahamas over the years.
But what could be holding vulnerable individuals back from testing? Well, experts say persons underestimate just how fast the disease can truly creep in.
It's a silent killer, and usually at the time when you start to feel an issue, it's a little too late.
Women tend to internalize certain things. Most of the time, we're the person responsible for taking care of everyone. So actually dedicating time to take care of ourselves, it's kind of hard.
Health officials stressing that persons should take advantage of the opportunity as positive detection begins as early as 31 years old and as late as 91 years old. Free mammograms will be underway until October 31st, 2025, with IL Cares reaffirming every story is unique and every journey matters. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Linton. Well, still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith back from vacation. She has a check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janelle. Yes, it's definitely good to be back in action here at Eyewitness Sports. Well, I have the latest highlights from Team Bahamas' performance at the U23 Pan American Championships over in Panama. Stay tuned for more of that straight ahead in sports.
Stop, man, stop. But it's hot today, boy. Boy. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's snowing. I can cool off, man.
Where you going? Get back here. Don't go in there. Be
I get inside
I can cook whatever you want tonight. Where you going?
You can do what?
I can cook whatever tonight.
I forget you can't cook.
Step out the heat and enter Skypole. Expert installation, cool comfort, and reliable service. Brought to you by Discount AC and Supplies. Your one-stop shop for top-tier AC units.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Ting's Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Lauren C. Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping sports tonight from the Diamond, the Bahamas U23 team is in action over in Panama. The Bahamas faced a must-win situation at the U23 Pan American Championships over in Panama after losing to Puerto Rico 9-1 on Sunday, then falling to the U.S. Virgin Islands 7-2 on Monday. But the 2-4-2 bounced back with a 7-3 victory over Aruba. Keyshawn Conliffe was on fire for the Bahamas, going 2-for-4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Leading off hitters, Pyform Charlton added 2 hits and a run, while Caden Walker and Rohan Culmer each went 1-for-3 with an RBI and a run.
You know the game goes a certain way. You just got to keep playing the game. I think the boys came out here. We talked a lot and we recovered for this game. And the goal was just to execute. In the field, we executed well. There was a few errors we could have cleaned up on, but we'll work on those as we go into the rest of the games. But we came out here, we executed well. When it was time to hit and time we hit in, we came through in those situations, which was very good for us, especially compared to our last 2 games. So moving forward, we just plan on keeping up that same spirit and bringing a few wins back to Team Bahamas.
The Bahamas is in Group B alongside Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Aruba, and Cuba. On Thursday, they will face a crucial showdown against Cuba in their final group stage. It's a must-win for the 2-4-2 in hopes to advancing to the semifinal. Cuba enters the matchup undefeated after 2 games. Well, definitely stay tuned to Eyewitness Sports for the latest highlights from the championships. Now let's head on over to the tennis court. The U14 and U16 Flawless Construction and Legacy Style Clothing Junior Tennis Tournament wrapped up over the weekend in Grand Bahama. Despite some challenging weather, the Grand Bahamas Tennis Association successfully crowned this year's champions. In the girls' U14, Caitlin Pratt took the crown, while Danielle Saunders finished as runner-up. For boys' U14, Julian Williams came out on top, while Harrison Vaughn Olsen earned second place. Over in girls' U16, it was Tatiana Madu claiming the crown and Caitlin Pratt finishing up as runner-up. And in boys' 16, Aiden Ritchie topped the podium, while Sanjay Watkins closed behind. On to sports from the basketball court. The 2025 NBA season is just around the corner, and several Bahamians are already gearing up for training camp with their respective teams. And that include the Philadelphia 76ers that feature rookie VJ Edgecombe and veteran Eric Gordon. Now, before the team headed over to Dubai for their training camp, they hosted Media Day. The top 3 pick from Baylor shared his thoughts on his summer training and his mindset heading into the team's training camp and preseason. Edgecombe could see significant minutes in the Sixers' backcourt, joining star point guard Tyrese Maxey. The team heads into next season without stars Joel Embiid and Paul George.
I just go in with a mentality to win. And whatever I have to do, showcase, I would do. But at the end of the day, they're my teammates. And we're all on the same team. We all have one goal, and that's to win. So, I mean, whatever that plays a part in, I'll do. So, physicality, like what is legal, what is not legal, it's a different game from college. So, I'm just trying to learn the rules, stuff like that. That's why I ask a lot of questions, especially like if I'm like trying to box him out on the rebound or something like that. Like, just little things like I'm just trying to learn. So I just ask questions to everybody, literally anyone I ask. Justin questions, Jared, Tyrese, everybody. So I guess I was trying to get better.
VJ won't be the only Bahamian on the Sixers rosters. His national teammate, NBA veteran Eric E.J. Gordon Jr., has returned for his 18th season and is ready to provide veteran leadership to the team. Gordon says he has been focusing on shooting with VJ, aiming to help him expand his game beyond his natural athleticism.
At my age, in my phase of my career, you have to mentor. Like, that's without a doubt. I've been around VJ the most. I've known him for quite a while. And, of course, I'm going to be looking forward to, helping not just him, but all the young guys looking forward. And but when I'm in the game, I have to do my part, knock down shots, spread the floor, let guys operate it like on their own. But when I'm out there, I got to knock down shots, and I got to look forward to, making things happen.
Now, the 76ers open up their preseason against the New York Knicks on Thursday, October 2nd, over in Dubai. And their regular season tips off on October 22nd against the Boston Celtics at the TD Garden. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Lauren Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Education leaders recently toured the historic Clifton Heritage National Park. Assistant Director of Education Pearlian Baker explained the significance.
The significance of us coming here today is to build partnerships, to help to forge a strong relationship where our students come out here, understand what is happening, and beyond that, we saw through demonstrations that it's not only this historical narrative, there's a whole curriculum, cross-curricular approach.
The group was guided through the property's tangible history by Managing Director Glennette Reckley and her team.
This is a wonderful partnership
And today marks us really kickstarting the new school year where our educators get to understand and appreciate all of the changes, because Clifton has gone through a number of changes, enhancements that really make the park enjoyable for all types of learners. There's so much different things that can cater to all of the learning experiences and all of the learning styles. And we wanted our educators to understand and appreciate that.
District Superintendent of the Exoma's Cat Island, Long Island, and Ragged Island District, Mr. Don Barr, shared his thoughts on the experience.
This is the first time I've ever been to this site. And so while it does have a lot of significance in terms of our history, there's a lot of benefits that can come about as a result of our students visiting the site. And so in fact, I had a conversation just moments ago about having students from my district come in on a day excursion that they could come and be immersed in the history and tradition of the Clifton National Park.
Jonna Lee McIntosh for Ed Talk.
Numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast, your million is waiting.
Crack that code when a million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Wednesday. Coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, a full look into today's top stories. That's coming up. And beyond the headlines, it starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janaina Wallace saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Well has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the Ministry of Works putting new measures in place to help mitigate flooding. Even now, there are teams of workmen across the island digging trenches and more. Works Minister Clay Sweeting joins me this evening. Also tonight, the LGBTQ community has dubbed the month of October Pride Month. It's that very issue, and the Christian councils seeming to endorse the march that's scheduled is what angered a local pastor. Well, tonight, both groups are here. It's all straight ahead for you tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. With persistent rains in New Providence for weeks now, and then Tropical Storm Imelda dumping around 7 inches of rain at the weekend, the streets and neighborhoods of New Providence experienced extreme flooding over most of the island. Up to this hour, teams are working around the capital, digging trenches, clearing drains, and more. Minister of Works, Clay Sweeting, is here to talk about what's happening. In fact, you're looking at some video right now that was captured today. That work continues right now this evening. In fact, as I drove here this evening, I saw teams of workmen along the island, especially along the coastline, trying to, look at that, y'all, just look at that. And this has been really the state of many neighborhoods around the capital before Tropical Storm Imelda, and most certainly after Tropical Storm Imelda. Minister Sweeting, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here, Shanique.
You have, listen, there's a lot you have to speak to the Bahamian people about. We are quite happy to see those teams of workmen. I mean, several just all over. You can perhaps tell us how many, but let's just talk about the measures that you've put in place starting from this morning that continue right now to this hour.
Thank you, Shanique. And first of all, I want to thank the team at the Ministry of Works who has worked around the clock, most of them having very little sleep, to ensure that the drainage throughout New Providence was successfully initiated. Now, prior to the storm, throughout New Providence, the civils team ensured that drainage areas as well as culverts were cleaned and maintained to ensure that once the unprecedented storm came, that we were able to not remediate, but mitigate the amount of flooding throughout New Providence.
So you were saying that the clearing of drainages around the capital happened before the storm. So it would have been worse if your team didn't tackle that.
So upon coming to the Ministry of Works, we engaged 12 drainage crews that consistently deal with drains throughout New Providence. Now we must understand that over 3,000 drains are in New Providence alone that have to be maintained, cleaned, and all of that. So what we did last week, we targeted the main areas, flood-prone areas, to deal with that. And if you notice throughout New Providence that most of the water is not just subsided, but it's drained out. In Propel Tract alone, we had reports of over 1.5 inches of water there alone. And yesterday, it subsided 8 inches, and today most of the areas in Propel Tract is clear because of the team at the Ministry of Works.
So that's good. The drains are working, the pumping, and all the things that you're doing at once. are trying to
Yeah.
bring some sort of relief to neighborhoods where
Correct.
people were basically trapped or couldn't get to their homes.
Correct. Mhm.
Let's talk about some of the most at-risk areas that you and your team have investigated and have found to be most at risk for this level of flooding we've seen.
Yeah, so if you look at areas such as Pinewood, these homes were built in a swamp in a lake. And this has been an area of concern for decades. So this isn't yesterday, wasn't last year. This is areas that has been of concern for some time. So if you notice throughout New Providence, we've had pumping trucks to pump water throughout of some of these inner city areas. Up to today, we've pumped around almost 800,000 gallons of water from the inner city alone. That doesn't include the 12 large major pumps that we did on the coastal areas. So, you know, we have remediation in place, but we also have implemented a plan. Over the past year, we've been putting a plan together for areas such as Pinewood, such as Nassau Village, such as Coral Harbor, such as downtown New Providence, that we would put a master plan.
Minister, look at that. I mean, the land really virtually became a lake.
Yeah.
This is really unprecedented that we saw. That's because, of course, the grounds were already oversaturated.
Of course.
So we're looking at some overhead shots and drone shots of exactly how extensive this flooding was. Now let's talk about exactly the mitigation that you're putting in place. I mean, there are new ditches, I guess, for lack of a better descriptive term, being dug by your teams, along with clearing of drains and all the rest of it.
So we have a couple issues. So if you look at Papal Tract, one of the issues there why the water didn't drain as quick as it should is because one of those drains went through a private property that was blocked up. So we had to reopen that drain there. So
you're saying when people develop and go and build, their construction blocks up the drain?
So we have to look at legislation that helps to create policy, that helps to protect persons that build in these areas or obstruct drains as well. But we have more than that. It's more than mitigation. We also have proposals from individuals who have looked at areas such as Pinewood. And we're looking at a permanent fix, such as a master plan. But we're also looking at temporary fixes that would inject water over 500 to 600 feet below the surface. And this would help on a float system that helped to push water out immediately once the water rises a certain level. So we have a proposal for that. We have a master plan that we would propose to Cleveland, Eneas, and Pinewood on Friday evening. That would look at a master plan for Pinewood.
Friday coming?
Friday coming.
You did say that you were going to meet with the residents, so it's set for this Friday.
This Friday coming. And this plan didn't happen overnight because of the storm. So this is a plan that we've been putting together for the past year. That we have consultants and engineers and geologists that has looked at the overall landscape of New Providence, of areas that flood, areas that seems to retain water, and areas that need to have immediate attention to help to mitigate this area. But if you look at the whole landscape of New Providence, areas such as downtown New Providence, so we put downtown on Bay Street, we put a lot of effort there. If you drive downtown now, or even right after the storm, most of the water subsided.
A lot of it has, and quicker than normal.
Exactly.
Because I remember just with heavy rains, especially driving on East Bay Street, listen, you would be afraid driving. I have a panic attack every time I have to drive through flooded area.
You ain't got to have that no more.
Well, thank you so much. But what is being done to ensure that when new communities and new developments are being built and designed, that there is a drainage system as a part of that plan?
Right. And this is part of the new subdivision act that is put in place, and it might be frustrating for some who tries to create new subdivisions, but there's a bond in place, there's a proper civil plan that has to be in place to ensure that these areas drain properly. One of the newer areas that comes to mind is Windsor Lakes in western New Providence. That was a newly developed community. If you look at that area, it drained fairly quickly. And this is because we put extra measures in place, which is more stringent to developers. But when we have significant amount of rainfall, the areas, the drains drain much quickly.
Right.
And if you look at that area, no significant amount of flooding occurred. because of the measures that was put in place by the Ministry of Works. So for developers, it might be more stringent, but what it does, it protects
But it's necessary.
homeowners. It's necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary. So I mean, moving forward, you would see the Ministry of Works put stringent measures in place in regards to building code and other measures to ensure that persons who build are protected against significant natural events such as this.
And even in the inner city, I mean, Nassau has just been allowed to spring up, basically. The inner city, you know, the homes or whatever is businesses are almost right on the road. How will you, in trying to go and develop, whether it's trenches or whether it's drainage, be able to address, because the flooding happened in those inner city areas as well, where there isn't much wiggle room to do much.
Right. So that's the beauty of, so this master plan that we have commissioned a group of engineers to put together, you look at the overall plan of New Providence, not just Pinewood, but other areas. So Pinewood is the most significant community, so that's what we're dealing with first. So you look at the significant plan for the whole of New Providence, and you'll see areas that we need to target, whether it's areas in Seabreeze or areas in Bain and Grantstown.
Right.
So we have overall mapping that shows areas that will flood much quickly than others. So the first act of ensuring that you create solutions is knowing where your problems are. So we've completed that. So that was completed as of 2 weeks ago. So we have.
So this is truly not a knee-jerk reaction thing you're doing.
No.
This is well thought out and structured to address something that is decades old, really.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, for the most part, you see the work that happens initially, but you don't see the work that happens behind the scenes. So we've been creating an overall map for the whole of New Providence, which we have completed. So we see the areas where water settles, where water saturates, and we are able to put a plan together. And we believe that this plan, which hasn't been done, it's been done for areas, but not the whole of New Providence. So we have completed, so we know where areas will flood significantly, which areas once rain comes, which would flood quicker than others. So we target those areas, and then, I mean, it will take some time, it will take some funding, but we already know, so whoever takes the chair, whoever follows, will be able to say this is what needs to be done and just ensure that it's completed. So we have some short-term solutions in the Ministry of Works that we should see within the next few months. And then we have some long-term solutions that might take a little longer. For example, in Pinewood, the proposal is to create drainage system that drains into the canals. So that would be a long-term, longer solution that we've budgeted for with IDB funding. But that would be longer term, more expensive. But we also have short-term solutions to provide.
And this is what you will share on Friday evening.
On Friday evening, you'll see the long-term solution. You'll see the drainage system, which canals the drainage system would implicate, the homes that would be affected, the roads that would have to be dredged to create the system. So you'll see that master plan. But we also have a temporary plan that we're working on to show short-term relief to persons in those areas.
Before we wrap up, again, I hope that you all understood, and I know you've seen the work teams as well. While it slowed traffic, it was for good reason, because we saw the men working hard and digging new trenches and a whole lot, so we welcome all of that work. I'd like to shift gears, though, for a moment and talk about BPL. Thanks, Justin. Can you explain some of this right here, Minister, before I ask you this question? What you see on the screen? This is today, right? This is a part of that pumping out. Is that what that is? Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I see some of that. So so some areas, of course, that need that has excessive flooding, of course, would have to be mitigated and finalized if there are areas where the water has reached a certain level. But for the most part, most of New Providence has been draining correctly, and I think that you should see solutions probably tomorrow or the next day in regards to that.
That's really good. That's good. Quickly though, before we wrap up this segment, I want to ask you about Eleuthera and BPL, because I'll tell you, I'm in several groups.
I'm in them too.
Oh, you in those groups?
I am in them groups too.
So you see the people in them rowing?
I see them.
You actually And you don't say nothing? You don't be tempted to say something?
No.
Listen, sometimes I want to be like, oh gosh, first of all, I feel sorry for you all and what's happening. Okay, you know what's going on. I don't even have to ask this fully ask this question, but you know, for the people who are watching now in Eleuthera, and I hope you all could watch.
I'm sure
the issues with BPL, and I understand that there are some, and it seems most of the island, if not all, experienced issues and continue to experience issues. I understand that there are generators on the ground to come online. Any updates there?
Right. So I asked Minister of Works. I don't have coverage of BPL as was prior, but I have spoken to the Minister of Energy and BPL and the team leaders there. And I've also visited the site. So I don't just speak to the leaders, but I also visit places on the ground. I've spoken to Pedro Marcellus, who was in charge of that area in regards to BPL. And we visited the site. They have 2 generators that are roughly 1.8 megawatts in capacity. One of those should be in train now, and the other one should be in train shortly.
In train meaning
operational.
Being brought. Okay.
Operational. And some of the areas also transmission and distribution issues, right? Which occurred over the storm, and the people in Eleuthera did. But we have a couple of different things going on. So because of the amount of the economy has grown a lot. You have Cotton Bay on stream, you have Jacks Bay on stream, you have Disney on stream, you have Windermere Island on stream. So you have a lot of this development that is increasing capacity on the island. So besides transmission and distribution, you also have, because the economy is taking off, the capacity is also increasing.
The growth there has exceeded what BPL is able to provide and produce.
Which doesn't help to pacify the issues on the ground and what persons are experiencing in regards to power outages. But I've been assured by the team at BPL, the team on the ground, that these issues should be completed significantly in the next few months. You should see the generators operational. The transformers they have installed in areas such as Tarpon Bay. So that Tarpon Bay has a transformer to ensure that they have direct power supply from that transformer, as well as water and sewage, so that the water that goes off because of the power outage there will not be affected. So the investment is being put, and you know, this isn't new for Eleuthera, but it doesn't help to calm persons when they're out of electricity.
No, it's frustrating when they don't have water to bathe.
Yeah,
or
the water is
light to
because
see.
of electricity issues, and you have to run the generator and stuff like that.
So it's like a domino effect. Once the power is off, then all the other things happen.
But I have been reassured at the team of BPL that these issues and the complications will be streamlined as soon as possible to ensure that people of Central and South have reliable power. I think because of the increase in capacity that's needed to run the communities because of the economic impact, that is a part of it. But I've been assured that it will be significantly improved shortly.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, if you want to return to further discuss the flooding measures being put in place, not just here in New Providence, but other islands as well, and like Abaco, for example, and obviously to come and celebrate BPL success in Eleuthera, you're certainly welcome to return, because I know those people are watching. I didn't know you were in those groups. So you sit there and get the blows.
Abaco too. You know, Abaco, Shanique, we've did significant drainage in Abaco. So the water subsided there as well. We did it in Grand Bahama. So a lot of these communities, we have put our money where our mouth is to ensure that, not eradication of flooding, but remediation of flooding occurs as quick as possible.
Minister Clay Sweeting, Minister of Works, thank you very much for being here this evening and speaking to a very important issue that impacts hundreds of thousands of people really here in New Providence as well as elsewhere, and that is the matter of flooding and of course the BPL issues in Eleuthera. Thank you very much for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. When we come back, We are going to shift gears tonight, and we're going to focus on, this is October 1st. You all know in the Bahamas what that means? Well, it means many things, but one of them is the Pride Month. Well, that's a major issue for one local pastor in particular. We'll pick up that conversation after the break.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast. Your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Bahamas Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you continue to join us. We are going to shift gears now and get into this discussion. Well, this month is Pride Month here in the Bahamas. Last week, Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernando, during a news conference or an interview, said that the LGBTQ community has the right to have its march as part of the Pride Month observances. That is where the row began. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Pastors Patrice Smith and Carol Moss. Now, Pastor Moss, I'm going to jump straight to you because when I say that is where the row began, you took exception to what Bishop Fernando had to say. You felt as though he basically endorsed the Pride March that is set for this month. And you went onto social media and expressed that, and that just opened a whole can of worms where you got into a heated exchange, I am told, with members of the LGBTQ community.
Yes. Bless you, Shanique and Prophetess. Well, I'm very disgusted. One, the stand of the Christian Council, Bishop Delton Fernando. I feel as if we have to have the heart of God, and we say what God says. It doesn't matter whether you're an ex-giraffe, you're an ex-cat, you have to say what God says. And I do believe that silence gives consent, right? We know the laws of what God stands for. One of the things is God is against gay and homosexual relationships in the Bible. So how come you can stand and say that you back off and these people have rights? No, if God has an issue with it, and it's an issue with him. And so he needs to stand up as the leader of the Christian Council and speak against the march. Now, whatever facilities they want to have or whatever they want to have in their own private time has nothing to do with me. But when you're going to walk on the road and declare, and Shanique, this is my problem. Back in the day, there was a club called Endangered Species. That's the name of the club. Right? That means that they were endangered and they were afraid to come out. They were afraid to come out. And so they did things in clothes and they went to little bars and way out. Now all of a sudden, there's a boldness that's coming. Why? Because we're no longer protecting the borders of our country. And the men, good men, remain silent. And so that's how come these different kind of groups, especially the LGBT community, can stand up and say, we're going to take the road. One time ago, these people would get killed. They would get hurt. Now, where is the boldness coming from? Where is this boldness coming from? Why? Because good men are silent. The Christian Council is silent.
But he wasn't silent. He said, listen, I see nothing wrong with what they're going to do or doing.
But silent in place of standing up against it. He knows in the Bible a man should not lay with a man and a woman should not lay with a woman. Then tell me, how come you still allowing this? And you're talking about LGBTQ rights? You have no rights. You have no rights in this country because this is a Christian nation based on what we serve here. So how come these people could come up and one time ago they was hiding underneath a rock? Now all of a sudden now you get the boldness and to come forward.
Yeah.
Because I really want to say what I want to say.
Well, what happened online? What happened? Because I understand from last week you reached out to me,
yes,
and a member of the LGBT community reached out to me to say, listen, Shanique, this is unacceptable. We don't like this. We want to come on, and so did you, to address this.
Right.
What happened online that brought this all to like a boiling point?
Well, what brought what made me so angry was the fact that Bishop Delton and the Christian Council, when I saw a video with him on our news, and stating that he protests against the UB, because I was there, but refused to say we all have rights. Now, we all do have rights, but because we are priests, we speak against certain things that is not right by the Bible. And so my thing is, and so I began to say what I feel. And so the Pride Bahamas came under my post. Based on what I feel, and what I feel is that what the scriptures say. This is not personal. This is not personal.
So you're saying the same way they have rights to march, to have a pride
we
month,
have rights.
You have rights to have your opinion.
No, this ain't our opinion.
And wait a minute, and an opinion based on scripture.
Right. So this is where the argument came from, for the fact as if, how can we defend? And as the Christian Council, we all have rights. But when a right violates God's laws, then as the church, we stand up and say, no, you cannot. And then the thing about it is that, well, we are activists and we are going to try to fight. No, you are trying to bring 2 men and 2 women on our streets. The Bible says, where the soles of your feet shall tread, the territory belongs to you. So now you want to come and take territory here and bring that foul spirit in this country. And we refuse to allow this to happen.
But Prophetess Patrice, the foul spirit is already here. What
Not
I'm
on
saying
the
is,
street.
what? Huh?
Not on the street.
No.
No. We're going to go against that foul spirit on the streets of the Bahamas.
Prophetess,
not the name easy like that.
I'm gonna concur with Pastor Carol for a little bit, and I don't wanna beat the dead horse, but I just want to say this. I took issue also with our Christian Council president, who, I respect and I do admire. But at the same time, I had to disagree with him, because when he said that everybody has a right, yes, of course, that is indeed true. Everybody has a right. But at the same time, you have the right as the Christian Council president that's representing the church in the Bahamas. You also have the right to come against and to refute whatever it is the LGBTQ community is proposing or purporting or bringing to the public. And so therefore, I believe that Bishop Delta didn't think too clearly. I believe he misspoke. I believe that he didn't think it through. Now, this is my opinion. This is my opinion.
I think he was, but listen, Prophetess, 1 second, let me he was very clear. He said, listen, let the people do. They have every right like anybody else. This is me paraphrasing.
Yes, okay.
He said, let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
What do you all think that okay does for this movement that you said should not be displayed publicly on the streets?
He is the president of the Christian Council. Now, if you're going to say that an individual or a group has rights and we also have the right to defend our beliefs, then why didn't you defend the belief on screen? Why didn't you defend it on air? Hence, this is where the problem developed, because it seemed as if he was in agreement with what is happening. And so that's why I said personally, I felt he probably didn't think it through, because you left us hanging. It was like a vague response. And that's what the church is saying. And that's why he's having a lot of flack, not just from the community, but he's having it from the church, which is even worse. Because if you are representing the church, you have to be clear about what you're saying. You have to use the Bible, which is the word of God. That is our preamble. You have to use the Bible as your reasoning for why you are objecting. And so that you don't just say, I disagree or I object. So what are you saying? You say then, I disagree, I object because of this. So you present other information to stand against your claim. You don't just say, Bishop Delton, that they have rights and we have a right to speak. What do you mean by that? You are representing the Christian community in the country. And that's the reason why, again, I said, and I will reiterate, I believe that he didn't think through what he was about to say.
So you're trying to say the two things cannot coexist.
No.
He cannot say they have rights and also you have rights to speak. Because what changed? Wasn't it last year that you all went to the Christian council? Went to. So what changed?
And I felt that he changed his talk, to be very honest with you. I felt that his talk switched because he was seemingly saying that, and I hope I'm not speaking too loud, he was seemingly saying that his objection was because it was at UB. Now, listen, Bishop Delton, let's not be disingenuous. Now, we know exactly why we went to UB. All right, we know exactly why we went there. We were there.
So he said that the objection was because it was at UB.
From what I understood, now he can correct me, but that is what I understood or surmised. And so we were there because we said we are coming against this demonic agenda. Now I don't know what happened between last year and this year, or who he been talking to, or who did what. But I know one thing. If you are speaking for the Christian church, you must speak for the Christian church on the foundation of the word. What are you objecting to? Why are you objecting? What is God saying about this? And listen, let me say something. Yes, of course, everybody has rights to a certain degree. But at the same time, we must understand that the Constitution is actually what guards the boundaries of this country. And so anything that goes against the Constitution most certainly is a violation. Now the Constitution has a preamble, which means it's an opening statement. And the statement said, we shall be governed, I'm paraphrasing, by the rule of law. We shall be governed also by the principles of Scripture. That's the preamble. Mr. Pindling and the rest of them didn't just come up with that. God gave it to them. And you are well aware of that, Bishop Delton. And so therefore, I'm saying to myself, what does he mean? He left me thinking after he was finished, what is he talking about?
Right.
As a representative or representative, that's right.
Yes.
Somebody who represents the Christian. Man, listen, Bishop Delton, come on, man. Let me finish, please. No, let me just finish that point. Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. I was about to say, if he's going to speak.
Smith. Listen, you see, it's never enough time for you all because you just don't know how to rule.
I told you to give me a whole show.
I wanted to ask this.
Yes.
So he seemed to have switched because the LGBT community did not switch, did not change its position, anything.
No,
so
because
who do you blame?
He gave them rights.
This was not his conversation nor his talk last year. His conversation has changed. And I'm not asking him, I'm telling him because I was there. And so therefore now, this is two kingdoms. These are two kingdoms now that's at war and will always be, because always has been, from the enemy was kicked out of heaven. Let's go back to this now. Even though you're saying that everybody has rights, and I'm sorry, Carol, but let me just finish. Even though you're saying that everybody has rights, yes, but at the same time now, we got to ask ourselves, how far are we extending those rights? Even though, yes, you have rights, how far are we allowing those rights to go? Because even in democracy, everybody don't have total rights.
What is the church, Pastor? Before you speak, I just want to ask you so you can answer this and then talk. What is the church most fearful of? Church meaning the group who opposed to what he said and the okay and the green light that he gave. What are you afraid of that will happen as a result of his openness and acceptance?
Well, one for me, I think he gave this movement strength. Because my thing is, because Natino came and shared a post and said, well, AKA, if the Christian Council they have a problem, then what is your problem?
Then why are you talking?
What you talking about? So, in other words, he has the governmental rights in this country to speak against certain things. Our problem is we have children here. We have certain things here, and when you walk along the street and you have two men that are going to kiss, you open so much demonic doors and gates to this country, and this is not something that we want to happen in our nation. And as the church, you can't sit down, Shanique, and allow this to happen.
Speak against
this bothers you,
absolutely.
Right? Then you got these boys, someone put wig on, they man. How can a man? You're not a woman. You are a man. Whether you is a young man, you is an old man, you is a middle man, you are a man. A man should not have on a dress. A man should not have on a wig, and a man should not have on makeup. You are a man. What are we giving our youth of this country to let them know that this is acceptable in our country? It's not. And Bishop Delta Fernando, we respect you, sir. Honestly, we respect your office, but you got to stand up, sir. You got to stand up.
Listen.
Pastor Patrice, in 10 seconds, speak to Bishop Fernando.
When the righteous remain silent, the kingdom of darkness advances. And I'm just paraphrasing what the word said. And we as the church must speak from the foundation of the word. We got to understand that cultures clash in kingdoms. But we must understand more than anything else that cultures and laws determine the outcome of the society by morality. So what we don't want to do in this Bahamas is allow our children to think that it is okay for a man to be with another man or a woman to be with another woman. We don't want our society to feel and to think that way.
Because should parents step in then? Remember when I had that don't indoctrinate the kids in their classrooms. So then should parents step in and say, listen, here, and teach their kids what the kids need to know?
Now, that's not just on the parents.
Anyway, okay, start with the church.
Yes, it starts with the church.
It starts with the church.
It starts with the church, and the parents then come along.
Then the parents step in. Okay, well, listen,
Yes.
this discussion is just getting started. It's not finished. Part 2, well, it's going to continue tonight.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Fly fishing for me is kind of a way of life. My father was one of the pioneers that started the fly fishing industry.
I grew up around the industry, but it was mostly spin fishing until the invention of the fly that changed the whole fly fishing industry as we know it today.
Well, fly fishing, in my opinion, is an art form that subscribes to artificially inducing a fish to take a lure.
It's fishing, but it's more like hunting than anything else.
So it is hunting, one aspect of it is, and the second of it is creating a lure that you are imitating that is of the environment.
You're actually stimulating the bite by them visually seeing the actual lure that you're sending to them.
Crazy Charlie is the fly that revolutionized, as we know, the saltwater fly fishing industry. It was invented by my father. He recalls seeing the bonefish chasing a little bait fish called a minnow. He took a couple chicken feathers and some bead eyes of a military tag, and that was the beginning of the advancement of saltwater fly fishing industry on the flats as we know it today. The importance of that fly allow you to be able to fish for bonefish in various depths of water.
Captain Rupert Lead, my dad, who's also a pioneer in the industry, his fly was called the gotcha fly, and it emulates two things: the minnows, which is a small bait fish, and also a shrimp pattern. See, there's so many legends that I'm now standing on. Percy Dowell, Ivan Nemo, who would have passed, Raymond Mackey, you've got Sidney Nemore, Carl Moxie. These guys were filled with knowledge. They were self-imposed scientists. They saw these fish act in a certain way, and they know how to target them on specific tides. I feel extremely proud to carry the baton on, knowing that I can actually teach other youngsters how to carry the mantra, and they themselves can pass it on to other generations.
So you want a space, but not just any space. We need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. We're going to have the other side of this argument this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Just going to jump right in to try retrieve the time. We have joining us Natino Thompson and McTeer Farrington, both of the LGBTQ community, who took exception last week to a lot of what was said by Pastor Carol on social media. Now, gentlemen, you all heard Pastor Carol a moment ago basically saying, listen, this is despicable. It's abomination. Y'all don't belong on the streets of New Providence or anywhere else in the Bahamas marching. And this is what she opposes to. She feels as though the president of the Christian Council gave the green light for this to happen. Your thoughts on what was said?
Well, thank you, Shanique. Well, firstly, she started off by talking about endangered species, and she went into the background of where the term endangered species came from. Now, I personally was not around when the club Endangered Species was out, but as you can see, based on the shares from Carol's post, Carol was a person who frequented endangered species, who sat by the bar, and I heard that she led in the walking sessions. So it's very hypocritical for Carol to now change her life and then be so hateful and bitter to those that basically partaked in the same thing that she partaked in. So
Mactea, but you heard her saying that, listen, and I don't even know what endangered species is. I'm sure Natina will jump in, but the rest of that. But what I'm saying is this. You heard her say, listen, what a person did before does not at all factor into what they believe now. What do you make of that? She is saying, listen.
Well, if that's the case, though, she should give grace to people if she's been the endangered species. Like, see, this is the problem with Carol in particular. Carol has a lot to say, right? And my thing is, if you're a pastor, fine, right? You switched your life. But the same grace that you had while you were in your sin, you should give to other people. And that's just my thing. My thing is, everybody ain't on the same run you on. We ain't at the same pathways. We ain't on the same path. We ain't at the same levels. So if you're a pastor, you should give grace.
So you're saying the love is missing out of trying to convict you and anybody else?
Bitter. But our rhetoric in itself is just bitter. Like, I want to understand, like, if we could actually have a conversation off air with Carol and say, like, who hurt you? Like, we have grief sessions that we offer on Monday. We have counseling that we offer Tuesdays and Thursdays. We can actually help her get the help that she needs so that she won't be as bitter as she is. My whole thing is, when we go through religion classes and stuff during school, we heard that our God is a God of love. You understand, and not of hate. There are many people in the LGBT community that actually have their personal relationship with God. And I heard that you're supposed to have a personal relationship with God. So my thing is, if God is a God of love, why is the person who is God speaking through, or supposedly speaking through, being Carol? Why is she so hateful? You know, the funny thing is, why I have respect for Patrice rather than I have respect for Carol is because Patrice's rhetoric was not hateful towards us. You understand? She came in here, when she came in here, she spoke. She said, hey, you know, this is my friend. You understand? It's not coming from a place of hate. It's coming more from a place of, okay, well, you know, it's gonna be time, like, come to church. But Carol is like, no, we don't want y'all in church. We don't want to see y'all at all. Like, come on.
But do you think Natino and McTair, do you think that Pastor Carol has a point when she says, listen, this behavior, Pride Month, you've been having that, and you've been having your events, and that's fine. But now this public march that can turn any which way and go in any which direction is not something the Bahamas desires.
Where was Carol? No. Where was Carol when we did this last year? We marched. Like, where was Carol then?
I think she
But you know what?
protested.
Where's Carol when we just had a deacon who was charged before the courts of rape? Because she's talking about the community and what the community is doing. But where was Carol? Why was Carol silent? Why is Carol always silent when something's happening in the church? The only time you ever see Carol making noise up on Beyond the Headlines is when it has something to do with the LGBT community. And that's why I said, she said it's not personal, but it comes from a place.
She speaks against the church.
What?
Where?
She
speaks
Where?
against
I don't
pastors
see
who
it.
are rogue.
Go on her Facebook because I don't see it. I don't see
I
it.
mean,
Personally, do you see it, Patricia? I don't see it.
I don't see it. I could be
No
honest
one
with you.
sees it.
So-
Everybody knows that she is that angry woman that comes on Beyond the Headlines and talks about the case. That's it.
I don't see it. My whole thing is, again, I mean, so even though, when Delton Fernandez spoke and he said those things, I thought that it was, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so we're getting somewhere now. We're understanding
So
that.
you all felt as though he was like, listen, guys, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. Do it.
What I got from that was he's beginning to understand that there are groups of people who can differ in opinion and they still have to have their rights. You cannot take away our rights just so that you could have rights. That's not how this, watch this, that's not even how a democracy works.
Carol spoke about laws, and Parliament has unanimously adopted human rights protocols which deny discrimination. As far back as 1988, amendments were made unanimously agreeing in Parliament on the act that speaks of sexual behavior. And my whole thing is she keeps talking about the Constitution. The Constitution is a government document. The Constitution is a government document, but you're talking about something that was just highlighted in the preamble and does not exist in the actual government document that is the Constitution. So what is the argument about? And see, the funny thing is, I always heard that if you want to confuse someone, just tell them something rather than them doing the research. Carol is very much, you tell her something, she's going to run with it, rather than her doing the proper research, because even her rhetoric on Pride, what she posts on her Facebook has nothing to do with what we do here.
No. What is Pride in the Bahamas?
Pride in the Bahamas is where we educate and sensitize our community and its allies. We also offer assistance in terms of making sure that our members getting tested, making sure that they are on PrEP. Because, I mean, you know, you don't want HIV to be spreading, so that's what we're here for. Pride is just a place for people to learn about themselves, get help. We have people that probably get kicked out and stuff like that. We help with housing. We have situations
So it's
where,
not what you would see in New York and LA.
No.
Hold on, we're not even there yet. We can't get there.
She don't want you getting there.
But that's not really our plan. That's never the plan. The plan was never to be what it was. You have to understand this. We have a different culture. Altogether, we have a different culture. And believe it or not, we actually take in consideration our culture. There are prides across the diaspora of the Caribbean. And as you can see, every pride in the Caribbean, Jamaica just had their pride. Trinidad just had their pride before us. All of their prides come before us. We're normally the last pride in the Caribbean. And if you look at it, all of them take different molds or different shapes than our pride.
Yeah. And so the whole thing for us is education, sensitization. Number one, I mean, I've been on the show countless times, right? And I've talked about the erasure of LGBT plus people from Bahamian history. That erasure is happening in legislation, it's happening in policies, it's happening in the education system, it's happening all over. So we have to fill in the gap by educating our own people about what it means to be LGBT plus, what it means to have these feelings on the inside of them, before we can even get to the whole, for me in particular, Carol just trying to she's trying to scare people into salvation, and that's not how it works. You cannot scare anybody into salvation. And also, watch this, if it didn't work then, it ain't gonna work now. It ain't work for you because you was an endangered species. So obviously it ain't gonna work for us.
No, but obviously it should work because she changed.
No, because watch this. If she was really changed, anyway. You
No. What I'm saying, what I mean is, how can listen? McTair said, There
Just
is
because
room.
you're a pastor does not mean that you've resolved that psychologically, you know.
That's your mouth.
Oh, no. Also, hold up. That's
What you mean?
Hold up. That's not how it works. Watch this. Just because you're suppressing how you feel does not mean that you're no longer queer, baby. That's not how it works.
Santino?
And then
That's not how it works, Shanique.
This topic about, because we talked about this before on your show, this topic about what kids are exposed to, me going on the road, us walking on the road or doing whatever we decide to do, does not just, you have countless ways your children are being exposed to many things. Your children have devices from as young as 6 months or less. They are on devices. They're just swiping. You do not have parental controls on those devices. Most parents do not put parental controls on these devices. They don't know what their children are watching while they're sleeping. Nothing like that at all.
Before the last break, I said, parents, you will have to talk to your kids about understanding a whole lot, and don't leave it. Well, no, they actually corrected me. They said no, the church should lead that discussion, and parents should come up, bring up the.
But if you're being raped and molested in the church, then why is the church leading that discussion? My whole thing is when I left my mother's house, from as small as, let's say, my first time going to school, Mommy said, oh, you have to remember the God cross. So she said, nobody should touch you here, nobody should touch you here, nobody should touch you front and back, right? This is discussion. These are these discussions start. The church should not be telling my child, oh, nobody should touch you here, nobody should touch you there. They might be the ones that are touching you there.
It's the parent. It's the parent, I agree.
Regardless of who decides to do what, the simple fact is you cannot catch being gay. That's not how it works. Watch this. You feel the feelings, and then afterwards, you have to think about that. You have to think about what that means for you. That's just how it works. And so this whole idea of if children see you doing this, that's not how it works.
Where can the church, because McTeer, you said something important. You say, Pastor Carol needs to understand that she would win you want, if only just to come and talk together more with love than with this combativeness. How can that, do you see that happening? How can it happen?
Well, Shanique, I think that, despite our indifferences with Carol has a very good energy about herself. And I feel like if she puts that energy into maybe poverty and the economic inequality, violence and crime, youth empowerment and education, mental health and suicide, climate change and environmental stewardship, corruption, political accountability, unity and compassion. These are the things that she should be focusing on. Feed some people, do something. Like, that's where your energy should be. Preach about love. Preach about love. Preach about bringing people together. You will get more people. I always told you get more people with honey than with vinegar. And a fact is a fact. That's why they tell the young children that if somebody offers you candy when you're young, do not go to that car for that candy. Because it's easy to catch you with sweets rather than vinegar.
Apparently, for me in particular, apparently now the church's mandate is to be against the LGBT plus community. I thought it was to feed the poor, because the poor will always be amongst you.
Listen to me. And so with the LGBT community.
I thought it was to say, I thought it was to save people from their sins, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait, hold on. No. Watch this. Now, y'all could see out there in Bahamas, I'm really glad that y'all are seeing me, right? Because I'm gonna let you know right now, LGBTQ plus people do not have to repent for anything, right? We are who we are, and like that's it. I don't think God makes mistakes. Now, if y'all want to congregate in your silos in the churches and huddle around and do that, and fight over what that means and what that doesn't mean, that's on y'all. I know where I'm at. I'm comfortable. I'm good. And in fact, watch this. I've been in the church. I see what y'all do behind. Watch this. When the lights are off and y'all are out of the pulpit, I've seen what y'all do. And what y'all do is not what y'all say. So, I think y'all need to work on that before you come and watch this. Before you throw a rock over in this glass house. You got plenty of glasses over there that I can throw rocks into. Focus on what's going on in the church. Leave us alone. And watch this. We'll be Gucci.
Well, Carol, if Carol has a problem, she could actually, I don't know how to get to be the president of the Christian Council, but she could run or something and you guys can vote for her. I'm pretty sure she'll have Patrice's vote. But, she could run and they could vote for her and she could be president of the Christian Council and take whatever rhetoric that she wants to take on and fight whatever battles that she wants to fight. But don't believe in going against my leader. I feel like the voice of the minority will be heard, but the voice of the majority will be carried out. And I feel like if she had an issue, instead of coming on a show and addressing an issue, she could have, had a conversation with him and find out exactly, instead of assuming where he's coming from. Just, pick his brain a bit and find out. And then if there's a problem from there, then you find other means to deal with your situation. Because she never said she had a conversation. She just said she came here.
Dalton said anything wrong.
She just threw a tantrum.
Of course you wouldn't.
She just threw a tantrum.
She feels as though this is her ministry to speak against LGBTQ
But it was
issues.
also her ministry when she decided to just go on a tangent and talk about Latino, because God told her to speak to Latino. But come on now.
See, my thing is, that's fan behavior. You have my name in your mouth, Carol. That's very fan behavior. My whole thing is, again, I just really think that the church needs to stick to whatever Jesus prescribed them to do. Right? Jesus spent most of his time amongst whom? The sinners. So watch this. Maybe she ain't gonna spend time amongst me, because me and Carol have nothing to talk about. I don't want to talk to her.
Latino, thanks.
I don't want to have nothing to talk about, because Carol just needs Jesus. That's what she needs. She needs Jesus.
Hush, you hush. Thank you.
And so, for me, I can tell you right now, when it comes to me, you will not oppress me. I am here. Y'all have to deal with it. Watch this. I love this place. I love my people. Y'all will do when you're ready, but just it is what it is. We are here. We're always gonna be here.
And
That's all it is.
The church is also here to stand against y'all. That's exactly what it is. She ain't stopping. She ain't stuck. Cause watch tomorrow when I post with this. We're ready what y'all
Carol,
do.
you post me, I will soon.
Listen,
I promise you post me picture, I will soon.
Natino Thompson, Matea Farrington. Gentlemen, I thank you both very much for being here. And as usual, we always have a very animated, interesting discussion. And you brought up some points, and I'll tell you, I wish both sides can come together truly and talk. Natina, you say you ain't gonna be a part of it, you won't care, so it's
There's
fine.
no both sides should be. It is what it is, but this is your show. We'll let you have that.
Hush your mouth, you hush.
We'll let you have that, Shani.
I thank you all so much for tuning in. At the top of tonight's show, of course, we had Works Minister Clay Sweeting. Thank him very much for talking about that flooding issue. Of course, in the middle section, we had Pastors Patrice Smith and Carol Moss here. And of course, to wrap up here, we have Natino Thompson and Matea Farrington. Gentlemen, I thank you both as well. And thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.